Welcome to another episode of The Financially Free Investor, where you will learn information and strategies on how to become financially independent by investing in real estate, something that is not taught openly in our society today. Financial freedom matters so you can live a bigger life, retire early, and do what matters most to you. Get ready to hear tried and true methods to becoming financially free with your host, Jordy Clark.
Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of the Financially Free Investor. Well, we made it. It's the end of 2022. And, I wanted to jump on here and tell a little story. This is going to be like the shortest podcast episode I think I've ever done. But I just heard this story and I was like, man, I've got to share this with you. To the three people that consistently listen. I'm just kidding. Maybe a few more than that. But and I hope that you find so much value in this 5-minute episode that you will share this with somebody else who is wanting to change their finances in 2023, who's wanting to change their fitness, who's wanting to change everything that they've got going on, whatever that may be. So back in the 80s, there was a big campaign to push people to stop smoking. I grew up a 90s kid, so I even remember some of these TV ads or whatnot. Don't smoke. And anyways, they found, somebody did a study, and I'm totally butchering the story, but the point of the story remains. They found in this study that they did, rather than just having people, if they were offered a cigarette from a friend or whatever, because, back in the 60s, 70s, everyone smoked. They found that if, rather than someone just saying no thanks if they were offered a cigarette and they were trying to stop, if you change your identity, and if that person changed their identity and said one simple phrase instead of no thank you, instead they said, no, thank you, I don't smoke, I'm not a smoker, or some variation of that. What they found was 80% of people actually stopped smoking, and they stopped smoking for longer than a year or two. They actually stopped smoking for a significant amount of time, if not indefinitely, because they changed their identity around smoking. So, and I think this is so important as we go into the new year and you're setting your New Year's resolutions. Maybe you're just trying to pay off that first credit card. Maybe you're trying to buy that first rental property. Maybe you are financially free and you're looking for the next version of yourself, right? Like, this applies to so many different people wherever you're at in this journey called life. That if you can simply change your identity around whatever you're trying to change, then you will have a much higher percentage to be able to actually change, right? So a lot of the times, people, the New Year's resolution is, I'm going to work out every single day for 2 hours or whatever. And after 2 weeks, you see all the people that signed up at the gym, they're just gone. And, by February, for sure, 98% of them are gone. And the 2% that actually stick with it will change their life. And I want you to be that 2%, whether that's, financially, whether that's fitness, whether that's spiritually, whether that's, an emotional change you're going through, whatever that may be. I just think it's super important as we sit down and as you sit down with your New Year's resolutions, and rather than make, a ton of these resolutions that you may or may not stick with, maybe just pick 1 to 3 and then figure out how you can change your identity around that, right? Like, maybe it's, hey, I no longer put anything on a credit card. Maybe it's, hey, I'm a person that goes to the gym 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week. I work out instead of watching Netflix or doing whatever. And I'm not saying, take out any sort of entertainment to work out. Yet what I am saying is there's small little tweaks that you can make. And I think it's way more important to make 1 to 3 resolutions that you stick with that will actually change your life if you stick with it for 5 years, for a decade, for 30 years, right? Like those are the little modifications that when we actually stick with them, they shape and change who we are. So with that being said, if you've always said I'm bad with money or I'm not an investor, maybe change that mentality to I'm great with money. I choose not to use credit cards. I choose to pay my credit card off every month. I'm an investor. I buy rental properties. I buy multifamily. Whatever that is, you can change your identity by the words you speak. And so maybe you have to start waking up every morning and say, look at yourself in the mirror and say, you are financially free, or you are on the path to become financially free. So with that being said, cheers to 2022, cheers to 2023. And I hope you guys make it a best year of your life.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of The Financially Free Investor. If you found value in this episode or know someone who would find value in this information, please share with them, subscribe, and send us a review.